requested that might go down. Oh, you? All right. All right. I shouldn't have bothered asking. All good? All right, we're going to try to do this between truck traffic. My name is Don Trinks. I am the mayor in the town of Windsor, and I wish I could say we're here for a fun event or a good event, but we're not. We are not. We are here to show Windsor and the state of Connecticut that this group is working as one with regard to this hideous, disgusting incident with the noose here at Amazon. So I'm just going to talk real quick, let you know that how serious, how urgent this is to us. The town of Windsor was the first town to declare racism a public health issue. Crisis. We did our BLM mural in the center of our beautiful town. We have groups working together and talking and dialogue, and we've worked hard to be the town we are, and we're not going to let some knucklehead from wherever he was from put up the most disgusting, racist symbol of hate anybody can even imagine. So we are going to work to get beyond this together and as a group. So I am going to relinquish my time because one of my favorite speakers is here taking time out of her day, which really shows the importance of this and the power that we can create. And introduce the Lieutenant Governor, Susan Bysowich.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mayor. And I wish I could say it was a pleasure to be here. But I am here because a little over a week ago, someone or some people put up a noose in the facility that is behind us. And this is a racist act. It is an act of intimidation. It's an act of hate, and it is a crime. And I am here on behalf of not just myself, but on behalf of our governor to say that we are committed to making sure that the perpetrator or perpetrators of this heinous act are found, are prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and brought to justice. And Governor Lamont has offered the assistance of the state police to the Windsor Police Department and to the FBI if necessary. And I think it is worth taking a moment to ask ourselves how we got to this place, because it goes to how we can move forward. And we got to this place because there are leaders in our country who have empowered hatred and racism and discrimination and perpetuated it and tolerated it, and therefore you see it repeated even in our wonderful, diverse, tolerant, and welcoming state. And here's the thing. Sadly, this is not an isolated act in our state. A few weeks ago at UConn, a Nazi swastika was drawn around the time of a Jewish holiday. And fortunately, the UConn police found the perpetrator and brought that person to justice. And it's important for the people of the state to know that, so that this kind of hateful behavior is deterred. And I'm sure the president of the NAACP will be talking about this, but the NAACP, the Anti-Defamation League and other organizations across the state are tracking more instances of intolerance and hate in our state. And that is why the governor and I felt it was extremely important to stand with the officials, the elected officials of Windsor, and with the people of Windsor, and indeed with the people of our state, to say that we will not tolerate any kind of discrimination, racism, or hate. And we will do everything in our power to make sure that going forward we do not have these things. And I think I want to stress the positive, because you've just heard about us going backward. You know, we thought nooses were from 100 years ago. Sadly not, but here is something hopeful and something I think we all should keep in mind. And I was reminded when I saw the tobacco barns just down this road, and it reminded me that Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King, as a very young man, came to Connecticut, worked in the tobacco fields down the road in Simsbury, and saw the tolerance and the more equal treatment of people of color in our state, and it inspired him to become a civil rights leader. And I think we should think about that as we think about the community of Windsor Locks, and their elected leadership has come together. You see community leaders from Windsor and beyond standing up and saying that this type of behavior is criminal, it is not acceptable, it is not tolerated. And we are standing here today to say that Connecticut is a state that welcomes people from everywhere. And if you were to unfurl one of those blue Connecticut flags and look at the Latin motto on our state flag, you would see that the motto is, "He who is transplanted, or she who is transplanted, still sustains." We have welcomed immigrants from our state, from Windsor's founding to our state's founding. We are a tolerant, diverse state, and we work for equality and opportunity for everyone. And that's why I'm so proud to be standing with my legislative colleagues, my colleagues who are mayors, to say that that is what we represent. That is what Windsor represents. We want people to go to their workplaces and know that they will not have to tolerate any kind of harassment or discrimination, and that our communities are safe and welcoming for everyone. So Windsor and your residents know that the governor and I will do everything in our power to bring the perpetrators of that crime to justice, but also that we stand with you, and we want to reassure the people of Windsor and the people of our state that we will not tolerate any kind of hate or discrimination. And in fact, it is our great honor to work for greater equality and opportunity and justice for everyone in our beautiful state. Thank you so much.
Come on, let's go. You hardly need an introduction.
He doesn't need one.
Thank you, Mayor. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Scott X. Esdale. I'm the state president of the Connecticut NAACP. I'm also the national board member of the NAACP and the National Criminal Justice Chair of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. We were founded in 1909, largest and oldest civil rights organization in the world. Have over 500,000 members, 2,200 branches, and we are the largest and oldest also here in the state of Connecticut. We're here with our president, the Hartford NAACP, Miss Maxine Robinson-Lewin, and many members of the Hartford NAACP. And we'd like to thank the mayor for having us today. The NAACP held a press conference last week, and we're glad to see more people with us today. And we're glad to see the elected officials. We'd like to thank you, State Representative Bobby Gibson, for helping us also. And my dear friend, Mr. Corey Betts, our State Criminal Justice Chair, and all of the members of the NAACP in this community. To all the elected officials, we thank you for coming out. To our superintendent for coming out also, we thank you. But there's a rich history of why the NAACP was founded in 1909. It was founded to stop the lynchings that were going on in the South. So this noose has an awful symbol to the NAACP.
All right, talk about it.
Look at Beyonce today. She's the big star today. But years ago, the big star like Beyonce of that particular time was Billie Holiday. And she sang a song called Strange Fruits in the Trees. It wasn't bananas and apples and oranges. It was young black men and young black women hanging in those trees. And we will not go back that way. We refuse to go back that way. And it was elected officials. It was law enforcement. It was rich businessmen and rich businesswomen that were part of the KKK and other white supremacist organizations. And these particular individuals would wear blue suits and uniforms during the day and wore hoods and sheets at night. And they terrorized our people. They killed our people. They burned our homes. They burned crosses on our lawns. And they put nooses around our necks and killed young people and elders all throughout the South and all throughout this nation. So we want to be clear about what the noose represents and that we refuse to go backwards. We are concerned about the workers here. I'm not sure, Mayor, but is Amazon here today? Are the representatives of Amazon here today? They need to be here with the community and respect our elected officials here and have a conversation with the elected officials here and make sure that everyone in this community is safe. They cannot harbor or make a haven for individuals to carry out racist behavior and not answer to the community. It's unacceptable, and we should not accept Amazon getting away with this. Amazon must answer to the people. We are concerned about the message that's being sent here in Windsor, Connecticut. We're here to make sure that everyone knows that this is zero tolerance towards this type of behavior. And technology and cameras will not be an excuse. People got caught before technology. People got caught before cameras. They need to go back to old school law enforcement and find out exactly who's been carrying out this behavior. We will not let technology and cameras be an excuse. They know who's doing this. There's people out here who knows who's doing it. They have an motion operandi formula that they could use to find the criminals that are carrying out hate crimes on this Amazon site. There's a formula for catching criminals. And we demand that law enforcement use those formulas and those tactics to find these criminals. So the NAACP will not we will not leave one stone unturned. This is not over. This is not the end. This will not just be a press conference and we won't be here tomorrow. We will galvanize more people. We will galvanize more individuals from across this state and across this nation to make sure that Amazon answers to us and helps us find these criminals. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. And I'll bring up our branch president. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maxine Robinson-Lewin, President for the Greater Hartford NAACP. The Greater Hartford branch of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People are appalled and outraged with the seemingly lack of clear and decisive action on part of the Windsor Police Department regarding the nooses and ropes found at the construction site at the Amazon facility. We are demanding that the Windsor Police Department request and accept manpower from both the state police and the FBI to aid in the swift apprehension of those involved and to prevent any apparent loss of life. The mere information sharing among agencies is simply not enough. and only serve to perpetrate the narrative that Black lives have little value and our concerns are not seriously taken. The presence of these nooses and ropes is a clear and present threat and danger to African Americans and persons of color, not only at this Amazon facility, but in the community at large. We are demanding that the construction contractor at the site, R.C. Anderson, LLC, devise and implement a visible and effective plan for cultural and diversity awareness among workers on their site, effective immediately. We further demand that Amazon take immediate action to address this egregious act that was perpetrated on their facilities. These acts of racism in various social and workplace are becoming increasingly heinous and commonplace, and measures must be put in place to stem its growth. We call again on the elected officials and law enforcement agents not to just condemn this incident, but to take a strong and effective action that will send the message that acts of racism and discrimination will not be tolerated in our communities. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I would like to thank the town of Windsor for putting this on. Thank you, Mayor Trinks, President Scott Exdale, Lieutenant Governor, thanks for being here, and my colleagues and mayors, fellow educators. I am Bobby Gibson. I'm a state representative who represents the 15th District. But today, unfortunately, I can't just represent the 15th. I have to represent the whole state. Because Connecticut is going to take a stance. We're going to take a strong stance against racism and acts like this. And I'm just, before I can continue saying this, as the president articulated to, this is not it. Some people may think that we're going to be here today to just speak and that's it. No, we're going to call Amazon, call the management company to the ground, and we're going to continue working on this because this is not the first time that this has happened with Amazon. There has to be some type of underlying culture that's occurring that this can be tolerated with Amazon, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. You know, the president mentioned strange fruit. You know, as a kid, I just heard the song. I just thought it was a meaningful song. You know, I didn't know the words, but as an adult, we know what the words are about right now.
That's right.
And we're not going to tolerate it. It's so sad that a song like that had to be made. You know, in Montgomery, Alabama, there's a museum with hundreds of pillars with ropes hanging from them. It's estimated that over 4,000 people, and we know that number is a lot higher, were lynched or have been lynched in this country. How crazy is it that we have to have a museum to help us remember all the people that were hung in this country? And what is a noose anyway? You know, you hear about a noose at Amazon. A noose is a piece of rope or wire designed to put around the necks of animals to tighten as they move so that they are put to death, that they're killed. That's what a noose is for. And so in this building just behind us, nooses were hung. Devices that were made to kill people in one of the most heinous and awful ways. In 2018, our United States Senate passed an anti-lynching law. Then 2 years later, it passed the House in 2020. 2020, the first estimated recordings of lynchings happened in the 1800s. And we know it happened before then. What kind of country are we living in, and what are we going to put up with after all these years? Lynching laws are just now being passed. That in this state of this city of Windsor, somebody thinks they can come here and hang nooses Devices meant to kill people, and let's keep it real. Devices meant to kill people of color.
That's right.
So no, this is not just going to be the end of it. You know, during the day, I work in a school. And although we're standing here to protect all people here in Connecticut, in Windsor and Connecticut, I start off saying I'm representing all of Connecticut. But you know what? Today's Friday, and I'm going to think about this. Well, actually, I'm going to think about it today because I'm going to see my daughter in a little bit, who's a senior at Bloomfield High School. And then Monday, I'm going to see my kids. Are we going to stand around and let nooses be hung in Windsor, in our state, with our kids, and many of you are parents and have kids around, and not let anything happen, not take a stance? So I will end with this. We are going to continue pushing and pushing and pushing. I also represent the Black and Puerto Rican Caucus. And legislatively, if there's something we need to do here in Connecticut, we're going to do that too. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am outraged that this has occurred in our community. My thoughts today are with the workers, particularly the workers of color and our community of color, who are made to feel unwelcome by such a blatant expression of hate. This act is unacceptable, and I'm glad that Windsor officials, the NAACP, and others are working with Windsor and the Windsor Police Department and are taking this very seriously. All I have to say is it has to stop, and we have to work at it stopping now. Thank you.
Good afternoon again. I'm Nisha Blackburk, Town Councilor, lifetime resident of Windsor. And I want to begin by saying I am disgusted, dismayed, tired, and at best, I'm over it. This type of oppression, this type of racial intimidation has no place here in my hometown, in this state, and we, the collective we will not stand for it.
Right.
So as Mr. President shared, this is just not some euphoric exercise that we are going through. We will hold Amazon accountable. James Baldwin, who I love to quote, said, "Hatred, which could destroy much, never failed to destroy the man who hated." And this was an immutable law. So for all of the haters, you are hating, guess what? You're not destroying us. You are destroying yourself. Now, my manual that I live by tells me, right? We are cast down, but we will not be destroyed. We will not be destroyed. So I'm here to share with Amazon. You came to us. You wanted to be, oh, thank you, sis. I forgot. You came to us and you wanted to come into our town. We asked you many questions and we shared with you what this community stood for. We are diverse. We understand that we may still have work to do, but you will not come here, allow this type of behavior, and we not hold you accountable.
Right. Yeah, you go.
So we've made phone calls, we have made demands. The expectation is that you will come and speak to us regarding our community that is incensed, now in fear. And the people that must report here for work, how are you accommodating them? As Mr. President said, they have to come here every day to earn a livelihood. They will not be intimidated. Yes, the noose that you hung, yeah, symbolically, you may think, thank you, sir, the nooses that you hung, symbolically, you may think that you are lessening our voice, that you are causing us to become quieter, Absolutely not. To the workers of Amazon, speak. Use your voice. Reach out to me, Mr. President, our NAACP local chapter president, our town mayor, the superintendent. Speak. Use your voice. We are listening. Because again, this hatred will not be tolerated here in Windsor, the first town in Connecticut. It will not be tolerated. So I will close by saying this one more time. We are cast down, but be clear, we will not be destroyed or intimidated. Thank you.
All right, you can all give me credit for having her speak last. But boy, did she sum up every speaker before her. Windsor is not going to tolerate this. And we have a two-prong approach. We want to find the perpetrator, and as she said, somebody knows who did this. Somebody there, and they know, and we're going to find that out. And then the other is to continue to have the workplace safe and equal for everybody that's there. We want everybody to be able to go to work, feel comfortable in this building, know that this was a one-time bad choice that somebody made to intimidate, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work because clearly you can see we are all banded together against this. So I will happily open up if anybody has any questions. We can turn it to... Hi.
President, have you heard back from Amazon at all? Did they even return your emails, or what have you heard back?
They have not returned the email, and we have not received a phone call back.
Silence.
We have received nothing from Amazon.
Was there some sort of conversation today with town leaders and Amazon talking about plans to come to the table?
I'm just letting you know in reference to the NAACP, and I'm also reaching out to Madam President. Have you received anything back from them? The NAACP is not. Maybe they might have an answer.
The town?
Yes.
And they've reached out to legislators too for months.
Right, and we at the town level did hear from Amazon, did hear from the contractor, did hear from the project developer, and we are going to try to get everybody together. Obviously, one company in Seattle, one in New Jersey, but we're going to do it because they do understand that we are not going to go away. So we're gonna get together with them. We're going to get together with the Hartford chapter, the state chapter, sit down with them and ask them the direct questions, the hard questions, right to them.
The town of Windsor,